Okay. Okay, let's start. Thank you.
Okay, cheers.
Vyaktam vibho sulamidam shariram
Yaktam vivo sulamidam shariram
Yenendriya pranamano gunam svam
Yenendriya pranamano gunam svam
Bhungshe sthito dhamani parameshte
Bhungshe sthito dhamani parameshte
Avyakta atma purusha puranaha
Avyakta atma purusha puranaha.
O my Lord, when changelessly situated in your own abode, you expand your universal form within this cosmic manifestation, thus appearing to taste the material world. You are Brahman, the supreme supersoul, the oldest, the personality of Godhead. So anyway, we also know that in the first canto, Vadanti tat tadvavidam tadvam yajnanam advaita rameti paramatma bhagavan. So the Lord is in these three features, absolute three features. And sometimes he expands in Brahma Jyoti all over the universe, and sometimes, not sometimes, at all times. And then into each atoms, each individual living entity's body. So the Lord is always expanded. And he's also at the same time in his own abode. So therefore, this is something we should know when it's explained like that. Next verse.
Anantavyakteena rupena
Anantavyakteena rupena
Yena dhammakilam tatam
Yena dhammakilam tatam
Chitta chakti yuktaya
Chitta chakti yuktaya
Tasmai bhagavate namaha
Tasmai bhagavate namaha.
Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme, who in his unlimited, unmanifested form has expanded the cosmic manifestation, the form of the totality of the universe. He possesses external and internal energies and the mixed energy called the marginal potency, which consists of all the living entities. So we know all these things.
So one brief comment. So at least Hiranyakashipu is not a Mayavadi. He talks about Purusha and personality of God. And at least
In that
level.
sense, he's an Asura. It's not Maya.
Mayavadi is a converse that this God doesn't have a form.
Don't have a form. Yeah, he's material like that. So we know that it's only an expansion of the Lord, just like he says. The material energy expansion, Tatasya Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti, Antaranga Shakti. So this is basically what he's speaking. And that's why Prabhupada quotes from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Parasya Shakti Vividaiva Shruyate, Swabhavika Jnana Bala Kriya Cha. That means he has all the multi-potencies. He has so much potencies. All consciousness, strength, activities, all running under his will, like that. So, text 35.
So before the point,
Yeah.
So he is talking about internal potency, which is spiritual planets. So he knows that there are spiritual planets.
He understands this thing. Sometimes people understand, but they don't really know what it is. He understands there's such a thing as spiritual potency, but he doesn't understand that he is also part of the spirit. He sees a distinction between beings living within this material world as a jivatma, but he doesn't understand the jivatma is actually spiritual also. You can have the knowledge, like I said, but you may not connect properly. So unless you have like Prabhupada or somebody guiding us, we also will be like Hiranyakashipu.
Just is applying to Brahma, whatever is.
But like I said, Brahma is representing Krishna, so it's nothing wrong. Text.
Yadi dashyasya bhimatam varame varadottama bhuti vyastvat vishrukebhyo mrityurma mama prabho.
My Lord, O best of the givers of benediction, if you will kindly grant me the benediction I desire, please let me not meet death from any of the living entities created by you. So, in Kali Yuga, people will come straight to the point. Say, just give me this, and I want this. But in the different yoga, but we do it also in a different way. We also invite people for dinner, right? And then say something nice, and then after that, can you have this business deal which you want to join us, like that, right? So we do it in a different style, but we cannot do like this. Go in front of a person and pray and sing glories to them and say you're wonderful, you're this, you're that. We can't do it nowadays. We can't do that. This system is the same. Whether we call someone for a dinner and then ask them what you want, or you just sing a poetry and then tell them. So the whole system is like that. You glorify a person properly, and then you say, "This is my intention." Yeah. So obviously they know he is asking for a boon, but then unless he makes sure the person is happy, you don't know what he can curse you, right? You call him and then he says, "Why you call me? I'll curse you. Go to hell." So he was praising, and now he says, "I will have something I really want." And so this is the main thing. All the prayers are maybe not really genuine also. But this is the main thing.
So probably is it the same that when we come into the deities,
Yeah.
so first praise them
Yeah.
and thank them.
Yes.
Then
So we have to
ask.
follow like that. Yes. Then
The ticket is same, but the desire should be.
you see, as you approach the Lord, always asking for something, it should purify you, because the Lord is not going to give you immediately. So after some time, your intelligence will be purified enough. You're saying, "Why am I asking for all these material things?" Remember, we already discussed all these are
Yeah.
temporary.
No, even for the spiritual, like when we go pray in front of the deities,
Yeah.
let me give me the strength that I will chant or do
Yeah.
with the proper.
But remember, I already explained, we may say those prayers, but we may not really mean it. So hopefully one day it connects with us, that we understand, we should actually change our ways. That's why I'm not getting a reciprocation. The Lord is in the heart. He's listening. The Bhagavan aspect will not connect with us because we are not sincere. So the Paramatma aspect is just saying, okay, this is just another one of the prayers. Nice prayer. some blessing, but not going to give you the full thing. So that's why you say, "Oh, let me chant nicely," you say. But the next moment you're doing something nonsense. So where's the sincerity? So the reciprocation won't take place as such. But he may arrange for you to realize you're wrong. And so slowly you get closer and closer to the reality. So that's the difference in the prayers. So now he's asking for immortality. But remember, the first thing Brahma told him is, I can't give you immortality already. So now he praises him, and then now he's asking for that I do not want to die from any of the living entities created by you. So we do not know all the living entities. We haven't seen all. We have only seen within this universe or within this planet. Even then, we haven't seen all. People are still discovering more and more.
84.
Remember that?
I should know.
Like that.
I was actually coming in Uber from the airport on
Yeah.
one of my trips, and the driver was expressing the same frustration.
Hmm.
When I was growing up, there was Pluto. Now there is no Pluto.
Oh. No, it's still there. They don't consider it a planet anymore. So the definition of a planet keeps changing every few years according to the scientific analysis of what a planet is constituted. So yeah. So anyway, he's asking, please don't kill me by sending some living entities. So then he continues, text 36.
नान्तर्बहिर्दिवानत्तं
नान्तर्बहिर्दिवानत्तं
अन्यस्मादपि चायुधैः
अन्यस्मादपि चायुधैः
न भूमौ नाम्बरे मृत्यो
न भूमौ नाम्बरे मृत्यो
नरैर्न मृगैरपि
Grant me that I not die within any residence or outside any residence, during the daytime or at night, nor on the ground or in the sky. Grant me that my death not be brought about by any being created by someone other than you, nor by any weapon, nor by any human being or animal. Look at this guy. Talk about very intelligent, no? Because he was afraid of Vishnu coming as a big animal. He killed his brother like the Varaha, no? Yeah. So therefore he is praying, you know, and all these things. Now the confusion here is thinking Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva all equal. So therefore since Brahma is a creator, Vishnu is a maintainer. So if you grant me all this guy can't kill me. I may be able to kill him. Like that. So it's a materialistic point of view. Of course, Narayana can kill him anytime. Vishnu can kill him anytime. So he's afraid of the chakra. So therefore he says no weapon. Then he also says not by any human being. He knows the Lord can also take shape as a human being or animal also. So therefore he's putting all these conditions. Then he's thinking, oh, sometimes we can fly up in the air and fight. So I don't want to die in the air. I don't want to die on the land. Then he also says, what else? Night and day.
Outside, inside, outside.
So it's like you write a program and you want to make sure the program has all the parameters, it doesn't fail, you know, right? So it's like that. So he's writing a program and algorithm. This is the algorithm.
But he already asked here, grant me that my death not be brought by any other being
Living
other than those created by you. So
Yes.
he's saying, even if you didn't create, that being should not be able to kill me.
Yes.
That means Vishnu is within the creation of
That's which I already mentioned. He's thinking creation is by Brahma. So anything that comes must be within his creation. Yeah. Text 37 and 38.
सुरासुरमहोरगैः अप्रतिद्वन्द्वतत्त्वं युद्धे ऐकपत्यं च देहिनां सर्वेषां लोकपालानां महिमानं यथात्मनः तपो योग प्रभावानां
Grant me that I not meet death from any entity, living or non-living. So he's making it more refined, you know. He gave a general statement. Now he's going into details. Okay. Grant me further that I not be killed by any demigod or demon or by any great snake from the lower planets. So he didn't want to miss out the nagas, all right, the serpents like that. Since no one can kill you in the battlefield, you have no competitor. So he's thinking Brahma cannot be killed. Therefore, grant me the benediction that I too may have no rival. Give me sole lordship over all the living entities and presiding deities, and give me all the glories obtained by that position. So he wants all the mystic power, mystic potency, everything. Furthermore, give me all the mystic powers attained by long austerities and the practice of yoga, for this cannot be lost at any time.
That's what he's thinking.
He's thinking like that. So what else would you add?
he didn't ask for.
Living entities. He's already superior to them.
Yeah.
So he didn't ask. What else would you add?
It's almost like Brahma's version.
It is. He didn't say you want to create something. So what else do you think you will add?
Lord Vishnu.
Huh?
You should ask Lord Vishnu.
He should have, right?
That's the only thing not there.
But he didn't.
But Prabhu, he says in the past 3-4 verses back, he says Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, right? He didn't ask about Vishnu, and he is actually envious.
Shiva, he didn't.
Shiva, he didn't mention.
Yeah, the thing is, he gave all the requirements instead of just saying, I don't need that.
It's a general requirement. He mentioned
everything.
Yeah. So, my question is, what else would you add? Huh?
Actually, he didn't tell about Brahma. Yeah, I would add you yourself should not.
No, but
kill.
he's the guy giving him the boon,
So he
you
wouldn't
know.
do that.
So he cannot fight with him. Right?
Yeah.
So,
When you say that word, then Brahma will think.
He ran out of words.
yeah. Anyway, the demons, look how intelligent they are, right? They are making sure he doesn't kill. But my question was, what else would you add? Since you think a lot.
Me?
Yeah. Huh? What else would you add?
Everything he told about how he should not be killed.
Yes.
The rest is still available.
Yes. So that means he could be killed.
Yeah.
Because he only says, I cannot be killed this way, that way. But he can be killed. That's another thing.
Everything I said and everything I did not say, the way I can be killed.
That's how you will say it. no?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Everything I didn't say should not be able to kill.
That's what Prabhu
So now we all think we are so smarter than Hiranyakashipu. He's actually one of the most smart. His boons he has is amazing. So anyway, chapter 4, thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 7th and the 3rd chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Hiranyakashipu's plan to become immortal. Okay, now he goes to terrorize the universe after he got everything. Okay. Text 1.
श्रीनारदोवाच
श्रीनारदोवाच
एवं व्रतस्य तदृते
हिरण्यकशिपो
रथ तपसः प्रीतो वरांस्तस्य सुदुर्लभान्
Narada Muni continued. Now Brahma was very much satisfied by Hiranyakashipu's austerities, which were difficult to perform. Therefore, when solicited for benedictions, he indeed granted them, although they were rarely to be achieved. Brahma didn't think, I shouldn't give him like that, but he just gave it to him because he was very pleased with him. Text 2.
Shri Brahmovacha तातेन दुर्लभा पुंसाम् यान् वृणीषे वरान् मम तथापि वितराम्यङ्ग वरान् यद्यापि दुर्लभान्.
Brahma said, Oh Hiranyakashipu, these benedictions for which you have asked are difficult to obtain for most men. Nonetheless, O my son, I shall grant you them, although they are generally not available. Anyway, Prabhupada says getting this kind of benedictions is not really benediction. The first line. Remember, I was saying if you are going to live forever, what is the problem, right?
Family members will die.
Your family members will die. You have to watch them die. Then how many times will you get married and see all of them die?
Yeah.
Right? So you will go crazy afterwards. You cannot handle all these things. Right or not? Do you want to see all the people you so-called loved die in front of you?
Repeatedly.
Yeah, repeatedly. How many times you will get married? No? How many times you will have children? Continuously going on and on and on and on and on. So you will go finally crazy. So therefore, this kind of benediction is not worth it. That's one thing. The other thing is, in this case, this personality is a asura. He just wants to destroy culture. Therefore, for him, it's a useful benediction because he just goes on to make chaos. But remember, within the workings of the universe, there must be balance. So when there's chaos, chaos must be reduced by another force. It will come. You can try. If you overeat, you will
Get indigestion.
or you get sick, right? If you eat too much, you will get sick.
Yes.
Yes, or no? Yeah. So, and if you eat too little, you will also.
Get sick.
So you must have the
Balance.
balance. So in the universal affairs, also same thing. If you increase something, something else will tolerate for a while, just like your body. It will tolerate something. If it cannot tolerate, it will manifest as a disease because the body says, I can't handle this. It will reject it. So in the same way, this personality will be rejected by all forces. So I remember in the case of Ravana also, he had so much power, but what happened? What was some of the things that happened to him?
He didn't listen to good advice.
That's true, but what happened to him? Why was his...
He got killed by the Ram.
I understand, but before that, what were some of the
He had
things?
to go through a lot of mental
anxiety.
Mental anxiety.
And he wants to enjoy a lot.
He tried to enjoy, but then he couldn't enjoy after a while. Why?
He lost his relatives.
He got cursed a lot.
Yeah,
He got cursed.
He got cursed.
Yes, he got cursed. Even though you can have so much power, but it's a curse, simple curse, right? Who gave the curse? The curse that he couldn't do anything about.
The Sita.
A demigod and his
What?
daughter-in-law.
How can you forget that
abused.
demigod?
He
Huh?
abused the No, daughter-in-law.
Nala Kuvera.
Nalkuvera's
Wife.
wife, right?
What's his wife's name? Ramba. So when she was raped by Ravana, he made a curse. What was the curse? That from now on,
Cannot touch.
If you abuse a woman, your head will burst.
not like that. He said if the woman does not voluntarily allow you, then boom. Then he got. So he couldn't enjoy anymore. Even though he had power. So sometimes, like Prabhupada says, they are not actually worthy of calling a benediction. If you're going to abuse it. When is it a benediction?
Helps you to bring closer to the Lord.
Okay, that's one thing. Now, materially,
To come to the
It gives you peace.
gives you peace, but then really there's no peace. Something ultimately come to mode of goodness, you can get some happiness, but that's okay. But material benedictions are not always worthy. That's what Prabhupada says. So there may be some worthy, use it in the service. Ultimately, if you don't use it in service of Krishna, it becomes a burden. For example, if you get a touchstone, right? If I give you a touchstone, and then the whole yatra knows you have a touchstone. That's it, right? Gone case. Correct or not? Every day from midnight onwards, people will be queuing up outside your door. They'll be camping outside.
No, they'll take some objects that are really valuable, and then they'll turn to gold.
Yeah, exactly, right? So just like people waiting for iPhone 10 or 12, so people will be outside your home. That's not worth it, actually. Then you're thinking, I should throw away like Sanatan Goswami. So it is like that. It's not worth it sometimes.
And then somebody might shoot.
It becomes a curse, actually. Like if you have an immortal life, what other things can happen? First thing the US government will do is catch you. And then they'll take you to their Area 51 and then they'll cut you open.
So
What is that?
And you'll be alive, they still cut and try to figure out why you are alive.
Research.
So it's a curse. In this world, it's a curse. Yeah. So we don't want so much material, but we need to use it in the service of. That's the only time you're peaceful. If you have too much of something, it becomes a burden for the wrong reasons. So that's Srila Prabhupada's point here, that we should be very careful. Even though these benedictions may be very difficult to obtain, is it really what we want? Sometimes people think like that, right? Oh, I wish I was healthy forever, living forever, or I live forever. Right? This is his point. Not worth it. But anyway, he granted this boon. Later on, Narsinghadev is very unhappy with Lord Brahma. Yeah. And you'll read later as we come to that. Text 3.
Tato jagama bhagavan.
Tato jagama bhagavan.
Amoghānugraho vibhuh. Pujito Suragena Suyamana Prajeshwari.
The Lord Brahma, who awards infallible benedictions, departed, been worshipped by the best of the demons, Hiranyakashipu, and been praised by great sages and saintly persons. What is infallible benediction means? Radha? Huh?
Many.
Many? No, not. That's not what it means.
Doesn't infallible benedictions be like benedictions that don't fail?
Yes, that means it's going to happen. Benediction doesn't fail. For sure, this benediction will take place. Text 4.
Evam labdha varaдаityo Vibhrademamayam vapuhu Bhagavatakaro dvesham Dhaturvadham Anusmaram.
The demon Hiranyakashipu, having thus been blessed by Lord Brahma and having acquired a lustrous golden body, continued to remember the death of his brother and therefore be envious of Lord Vishnu. So even they have loving relationship. So we think demon means very bad. He has also feelings for his own family members and so on. So no difference, no? If you think about it.
No.
No. So there's no difference.
Except they just don't like the Lord.
The what?
Except the demons just don't like the
Yeah, they don't like Narayana. So here you can say he was still envious of. Yeah, just thinking in an envious way.
So when Dhruva Maharaj was blessed by the Lord, immediately he lost all his material desires. But here we see that he still revived his original.
His enviousness there. Yeah, all
That's the
those.
difference between.
Well, there's a difference between Vishnu
Demigod.
and demigod, like Lord Brahma's blessings and Vishnu's blessing. He is Suddha Sattva or Vasudeva Sattva. So when the Lord blesses you or touches you, all your material desires, everything will be gone. But in the case of Brahma, he's still a Jiva Tattva. So therefore, he cannot give you that kind of blessings.
Because Brahma is aware of that Hiranyakashipu is inimical to Lord Vishnu.
Yes.
He's aware, right?
Yes.
So still, so the fact that he's giving this boon, that means he's.
Brahma also is Trikala Jnana. He also knows this guy is going to be killed by Vishnu. But he didn't, from hindsight, after reading, we are saying, he didn't know that this guy is going to terrorize. He's the first terrorist in the world. The degree of terrorism is, even nowadays, cannot be compared. The way he was terrorized. Yeah, a really, really envious person. Text 5 and 7 to 7.
Savijitya sarva Lokamsha Trimahasuraha Devasura Manushendra Gandharva Garudoraga Siddhacharana Vidyadran Nishin Pitrapatin Munam Raksha Pisachesha Preta Bhutapatinapi Sarvasattva Patinjitva Vashammaniya Vishvajit Jahara Lokapalana Dhanani Sahatejasa
Hiranyakashipu became the conqueror of the entire universe. Indeed, that great demon conquered all the planets in the three worlds, upper, middle, and lower, including the planets of the human beings, the Gandharvas, the Garudas, the great serpents, the Siddhas, Charanas, Vidyadharas, the great saints, Yamaraja, the Manus, the Yakshas, the Rakshasas, the Pishashas, and their masters, and the masters of the ghosts and Bhutas. He defeated the rulers of all the other planets where there are living entities and brought them under his control. Conquering the abodes of all, he seized their power and influence. So, he became the king of the entire universe, accepting Vishnu, Shiva, and Brahma. So he didn't go to Brahma Loka or Satya Loka. He didn't go to Kailash, and he went to Vaikuntha, but he couldn't see the Lord there. So you can see. So Prabhupada says there are big birds like Garuda in a certain planet, even in this universe. And there's also a planet of Surabhi cows in the material world, but they are not the spiritual Surabhi cows. Okay. You read that in the 10th canto.
So there is only cows flowers that planet?
Yeah, it seems like that. Maybe there are some cowherds. I don't know. But because Surabhi cows can speak and do their own things, they don't need anyone. They know the scripture, they know everything.
Oh,
Huh?
that's cool.
That's cool, right? Yeah. Because when Indra, after the rain, he goes to Brahma tells him go and get Surabhi's permission. So they go to the planet within this material. Yeah.
It's not
Indra can't go to Vaikuntha, so he had to get someone. So there is a planet of Surabhi cows. So similarly, there are planets of great birds, like Garuda. And then there are planets with enormous serpents in the lower planetary system. There are many, many different living entities we don't know yet. So, but we are given some, picture or window into the universe. So you see science fiction, they come out with all kinds of aliens and so on. These are the real aliens, actually. So, and when they do all that, they because of previous life impressions, they come up with all these different aliens. Like the Star Trek, they have, what is that? The bad guys, Klingons, right? They are all like Rakshasas. They look like Rakshasas. So it's like you cannot go outside of the framework of what is already created. We can come up with some imagination, but basically it cannot be more than what is already in our experience from previous lives.
So the imagination that we make has to exist.
Obviously,
because
from
it has
previous,
to
it cannot be without the purview of the Lord's jurisdiction. So, of course, Prabhupada writes, these scientists, right, they say that they can go to different planets or the other planets there's no life and so on. So Prabhupada says, these scientists claim to have launched excursions to the moon where they found no living entities, but only big craters full of dust and so on. Although, in fact, the moon is so brilliant that it acts like the sun in illuminating the entire universe. Of course, it is not possible to convince modern scientists of the Vedic information about the universe. Nonetheless, we are not very much impressed by the words of the scientists who say that all other planets are vacant and that only the Earth is full of living entities. So he's questioning the scientists' claim. He wants us to also question such claim. Because who do you believe actually? Bottom line is, who are you going to believe? Are you going to believe the scientists or are you going to believe the Vedic authority? So who is telling the truth and who is not telling? The point is, the scientists don't have enough information. They only look through their microscope and their telescope or huge scopes. And even beyond certain universe, and they are saying they can see another universe. But actually they are not seeing. It's based on some
instrument, which is
wavelength of light and the Doppler shifting, if you know all these things, physics. So you'll say, according to that, they calculate the atmosphere, how the planet looks and all. How is possible? Right? So they just come up with all these things. So our take from this is, we have to accept the scriptural injunctions, the statements there. Otherwise, we will develop doubts.
I will accept the scientists.
So you'll become a doubter. Nayam lokasti, na paro, na sukam, na samsaya. So for a doubting soul, there's no happiness in this world or in the next. So the scripture, if you don't accept the scripture, you'll always doubt. And then finally, you'll doubt the position of Krishna. So this may seem far out. Wow, how can there be a big snake or big birds? I've never seen it. It's not in my experience, so it cannot exist. That's how scientists conclude. But it's all based on what? Our material senses. So what does its scripture say about material senses? It is imperfect. So therefore the conclusions from an imperfect viewpoint is always imperfect. Whereas the Vedas are considered to be Apaurusha. That means they are non-human. They are given by the Lord Himself. So our faith has to be in that way. Otherwise, we will not have full faith to even surrender at the end of the course. Text 8.
Is it possible to create alternate textbooks?
It is possible to create alternate textbooks? Yes. There are already people doing it. There's a Devi Bhagavatam.
Parallel for Bhagavatam.
No, I'm saying
I think he's talking
in order to counter the scientists, is it possible to
School textbooks.
school textbooks?
Oh, you have to actually, to do that, you have to actually do from top down. And if you have to get into politics and all.
Oh, we'll vote for you.
It's not going to work so easily.
Your 2 votes.
Anyway, for me, the way I see it is, Krishna says, Manusyanam sahasreshu kaschidyati visiddham yatatam visiddhanam kaschimayam tattvatam. So not many people will accept, even if you can present nicely.
Yeah, there is one GBC initiative where they are trying to infiltrate educational institutions through the Vedic knowledge. So
We
instead
can
of
do
being our
that.
own
Yeah.
education institute, kind of go there and
First,
create, let's say, master's or PhD degrees in
Formalize.
formalized.
but you can only start from our own universities first, which must get world recognition. Then they will adopt some of the same curriculums or topics we are teaching. Now in the Netherlands, I saw that there are schools which are teaching Sanskrit, and the people there, the Dutch people, they are chanting Bhagavad Gita in Sanskrit.
Yeah.
9-year-olds, 10-year-olds.
There are videos.
So that adaptation may take place, but may not take place as wide scale that we are hoping for. But the trust is there. I mean, the pushing, we can push it, but it depends on the society, the modes of the society, the personalities we are dealing with. Primarily, people will come towards Vedic culture if they are more in the mode of goodness. But generally, the population in the world is now not in the mode of this. Mainly in ignorance and some passion. But yeah, you can try. Yeah. But I think it's a good attempt. We should try. Not that we shouldn't try. But the best thing is we should continuously do Harinam Sankirtan and distribute and prasad. Because even if you look at where in Florida, right? When the first time the devotees started Food for Life, and now look at the results. After how many years? So the purification takes place, and then better and better jivas take birth there, and then they will take up the process. It's the same thing. Okay, text 8.
देवोद्यानश्रयाजुष्टम् व्यास्ते स्म त्रिपिष्टकम् महेन्द्र भवनं साक्षात् निर्मितं विश्वकर्मणा त्रैलोक्य लक्ष्म्या आयतनम्
Hiranyakashipu, who possessed all opulence, began residing in heaven with its famous Nandana garden, which is enjoyed by the demigods. In fact, he resided in the most opulent palace of Indra, king of heaven. The palace had been directly constructed by a demigod architect Vishwakarma and was as beautifully made as if the goddess of fortune of the entire universe resided there. So now he has free pass.
Everywhere.
He can go, like Cancun. You all want to go Cancun, right? South, where is that? Mexico. What are the Aruba? What else?
Hawaii.
Hawaii now in mess. Earthquake. What else? What are the places people like to go?
Caribbean.
Bahamas.
Andaman Nicobar.
Vrindavan.
I mean, spiritually, we want to go Vrindavan. But materialists will go to all these places they want to go. They like to go to Europe and tour around the place, Paris, right? Look at all the architectures there. London,
Italy.
Italy, now Pisa, Switzerland.
Disney World.
Huh?
Disney World. Florida,
That's
Orlando.
only for 1-2 days they go. The tourists won't go into. I guess so. I guess people go to
Australia.
Australia.
Mauritius is also very
Dubai.
Fiji, bro.
Fiji for the beach and swimming. That's about it.
Hawaii.
Hawaii, no, now it's all earthquake, all the problem. So after they settle, people.
India.
India is
Hot, very
Dubai.
hot.
now it's too.
It's not the time.
Dubai.
Dubai, they like that. I went there, it's all dusty.
Always
So
construction.
it's like that. So there's a lot of opulence even in our own world, and we like to go also, but we have to pay for it. Whereas Hiranyakashipu with his boons, he could walk into any palace and then he said, "Get out." So Indra has to get out.
Couldn't you fight?
Huh?
Couldn't you fight?
Huh?
Couldn't you fight?
They
They
couldn't.
don't dare to.
They have no power. He has jurisdiction over the whole universe.
Yeah, I'll try.
I'm sure you will try. But then, we don't want to be a fool also. Sometimes we will only try when we know we can get a good result. So that's a saying, you have to fight your battles carefully.
Wisely. Pick your battles.
Yeah,
wisely.
pick your battles.
Wisely.
But I defend all the devotees, so
Huh?
I defend the devotees.
He wants to defend the devotees.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, if you become like Prahlad, you can do it. That's where it's going to, nobody can do anything
Only
in the
Prahlad could
universe.
do it, man.
So then the Lord, planned such a way that his own son screws him up, so to speak.
Biggest insult.
Like that, Yeah, so Prabhupada also says that telescopes and other imperfect instruments, you can't tell how the upper planetary system is. We can't. The bodies of the demigods are in a astral or subtle bodies. You cannot see them. And the planet itself is covered by potencies that you cannot really use mechanical instruments or electrical instruments. You need a different technology, and that's called yoga. So if you have yoga siddhi, then you can connect with those technologies, and then you can visualize them and go there. So with what we have, it's only within this middle planetary system we can use our instrumentation.
So that was the reason those people who traveled to moon, they didn't see anything.
Yeah, first of all, Prabhupada said, are you qualified to be in the moon?
Yeah.
So we do not know, we may see the moon, but when the rocket goes, it may go somewhere else. So that's one of Prabhupada's argument. Because we read moon planet is very opulent. It's one of the most opulent, more opulent than sun planet. Like that. So therefore, his point is, we should accept the Vedic literature. Right? So it's important that when you read, don't create doubts. If you have doubts, then go to a person who have no doubt, associate with them, and you will also become doubtless. You don't want to create doubts, because it'll be there for your whole life. Sometimes if you see something bad, it's there in your mind for the whole life. So therefore, we don't want to see things that is going to spoil our things. So similarly, if doubt is there, immediately get rid of it. Otherwise, you lose your Krishna consciousness. Okay? Text 9 to 12.
Yatra vidruma sopana mahamarkata bhuvaha yatra spatika Yani
Yani
Vaidurya Stamba Panktayah Yatra Chitra Vitanani Padmaragāshanāni ca Vayepena Nivasaya Muktādāma Pariccadaha Gujatir Nipurairdevyaha Nupurairdevyaha Shabdayantya itastatah Ratnastavishu Pashyanti Sudhati Sundaram Mukham Tasmin Mahendra Bhavane Mahabalo Mahamana Nirjita Loka Ekarat Reme Bhivandyangri Yugasuraadibihi Pratapitairoshita Chandasasanaha
The steps of King Indra's residence were made of coral. Coral, very nice. No? The floor was bedecked with invaluable emeralds. The walls were of crystal, and the columns of Vaidurya stone. What is Vaidurya? Huh?
No, but how do you relate to it? Anybody have it here?
I know something.
Is it sapphire?
is blue color.
Sapphire?
I think sapphire. Blue color.
Blue color.
Vaidurya is
You all
blue.
don't know? Yeah.
Blue sapphire.
Blue.
Then sapphire.
Nobody knows what Vaidurya is.
Listen.
Sapphire.
Prabhu.
I know something related to Krishna.
Of course, everything is connected to Krishna. Anyway, that's some homework. You can go and find out what Vaidurya gem looks like. The wonderful canopies were beautifully decorated. The seats were bedecked with rubies.
Oh, it's actually cat's eye.
Cat's eye. Vaidurya is a cat?
Green
That's
color.
it, yeah.
Not
green
cat's
color.
eye. It looks green. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, your
Fire.
Cat's eye.
the one. What is that? And the silk bedding,
Cat's eye.
as wide as foam, was decorated with pearls. The ladies of the palace who were blessed with beautiful teeth. So if you have good teeth, you must be blessed. And the most wonderful. So in America, they go to all this straightening, no? Right? Now you know why they all want beautiful teeth. And the most wonderfully beautiful faces. So these are in heavenly planets. They are, the beauty is like 100,000 times better than the ladies here. Walked here and there in the palace, their ankle bells tinkling melodiously, and saw their own beautiful reflections in the gems. So if you like to look at yourself, better go to the heavenly planets, so you can see everywhere yourself. The demigods, however, have been very much oppressed, had to bow down and offer obeisances at the feet of Hiranyakashipu, who chastised the demigods very severely and for no reason. Thus Hiranyakashipu lived in the palace and severely ruled everyone. So he was a very nasty guy. Scolding everyone, saying, "Hey, come here, go." Like, purposely he was doing it. That's the thing. That's why he severely scolded them for no reason. How you like in your home that, let's say, Advaita, your father scolds you every time. How you feel? Huh? How you feel?
I don't like that.
Yeah, you don't like that. So same, the demigods were feeling like they got no control. They cannot go and fight with Hiranyakashipu. Just like you can't fight with your father. So, so it's difficult.
I can try, but I can't.
Exactly. They also can try, but they will be lost. So some of them, he made them massage his feet, fan in their fan, like that. Even I think Narada came and fanned and started speaking to them. Yeah. Huh? Just like
even the modern days, the monarchs, right? Still, I think
some places.
they.
But all this opulence, like people coming to serve you, must be deserving. We don't serve like fanning people, for no good reason. We do it. It's a respect. Just like when Maharajas come, we fan them, we wash their feet, because they can give us the ultimate goal of life, the understanding us. So that's why we do that as a service. But here, this guy forced everyone to serve him because he wanted to be God himself. He wants to be God. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, so powerful, right? Except for the three Murti, everyone else was engaged in serving him. He didn't like them not serving him at all. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has compared Hiranyakashipu to Maharaj Vena. Okay, Maharaj Vena is in which canto? Fourth canto. Whose son?
King Anga.
Anga, King Anga, who was also atheistic and scornful of the ritualistic ceremonies mentioned in the Vedas. Yet Maharaj Vena was afraid of some of the great sages such as Brigu, whereas Hiranyakashipu ruled in such a way that everyone feared him, but Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma, and Lord Shiva. Okay. Another point Prabhupada put, Hiranyakashipu was so alert against being burned to ashes by the anger of the great sages like Brigu, that by dint of austerity he surpassed their power and placed even them under his subordination. So even the Sapta Rishis were under him. Okay. It appears that even in the higher planetary systems in which people are promoted by pious activities, disturbances are created by asuras like Hiranyakashipu. No one in the three worlds can live in peace and prosperity without disturbance. So, Dukhalayam Ashashvatam. So that verse that Krishna says is meaningful. You are not going to be peaceful or happy in this world. Doesn't matter. You can have the most, you can be the billionaire, but if you can only eat 2 chapatis, doesn't matter how much money you have. That's it. So it's a very good example Prabhupada tells us that no matter what you have, if you are limited in your ability, that's all you can enjoy. That's it. You cannot artificially enjoy more than what you can enjoy. That's all. Or whatever your karma is. Otherwise, look, do you think he's happy? In some ways, he's feeling like he can control people, but he's not happy.
Nobody's happily doing.
Yeah, nobody's happily doing. It's how you feel, right? If somebody serves you and then with a long face gives you prasadam, how you feel, right? Right or not?
No happiness.
The husband comes from work and then the wife's boom. Eats. Or the other way, the wife comes from work, the husband slams and goes. Same thing, no? How they feel. Don't feel like eating. Like that. So therefore, I don't think Hiranyakashipu is happy.
But this is like the heavenly planet is supposed to say it's more enjoyment and all stuff.
Yeah, you can enjoy it for sure.
So there's a misery also there, or misery?
Yeah, misery like Hiranyakashipu.
Is it an exception? It's general.
Yeah, the asuras once in a while come to disturb. Yeah.
Because asuras also exist.
Yeah. They are, the asuras in the lower planetary system, they have higher technology than what we have here.
Yeah.
So they can come in the aircrafts and then disturb the devatas. So it's an ongoing, eternal function. Yeah. So Prabhupada therefore says, no one in the three worlds can live in peace, prosper without disturbance. Unless you are in the planet of Kailash or in Satyaloka planet or in Vaikuntha. Okay, so we'll stop here. We'll have lunch and meet here on 2:10. Well,
Nothing. I'm gonna do something.